Bullying is a social issue that is often seen in an academic setting. Many people believe that bullying is the inherent nature of children. However, what many fail to realize is the extent of physical and psychological pain that bullying ultimately causes to many individuals that are involved, whether it be the victim, the bully, or even the bystander in the situation. With the implementation of programs within a school-based setting, educating school mental health professionals and parents on how to properly assess or confront bullying within their schools, and educating students on how to stand up or deal with bullies, society can hopefully begin to curb the drastic communal issue that is known as bullying. The discussion of this speech will chronicle how bullying affects not only the person being bullied, but also the general community effects of this societal issue as a whole. Moreover, it will briefly touch upon what bullying is, as well as the various preventative measures that can be instituted to alleviate and hopefully end bullying as a whole. According to the American Psychological Association, bullying is a form of aggressive behavior that targets an individual to make them feel excluded, uncomfortable, and even unsafe. There are many forms of bullying. Medicine Net explains that bullying can be physical, verbal, and relational. Physical bullying includes the acts like pushing the victim, kicking the victim, and even punching the victim. Verbal bullying involves the use of words to harm others by attacking the victim's physical appearance, like their race or ethnicity, their religious values, or even making sexual and derogatory comments towards the victim. Lastly, relational bullying includes acts of exclusion and the spread of rumors. Researchers have actually found that while more boys tend to partake in verbal and physical bullying than girls are more likely to partake in relational bullying than boys are. With the rise in social media use, there has also been a new form of bullying that has taken fold called cyberbullying. According to stopbullying.gov, cyberbullying is essentially bullying that takes place over digital devices like cell phones, computers, and tablets. Internet environments provide an additional outlet for bullies to target their victims outside of their traditional school setting. According to stopbullying.gov, in a study conducted by the National Center for Education Statistics and Bureau of Justice, researchers found that among students aged 12 to 18 years old, these students reported being bullied at school during the school year, but 15% of this age gap were bullied online or by text. The extent of bullying exists far beyond the academic setting as well. Victims of bullying tend to have both physical and psychological symptoms that affect them on a day-to-day basis. According to kidshealth.com, victims of bullying that have physical symptoms include changes in appetite and chronic headaches. However, psychological symptoms include irritability, anxiety, depression, and even feelings of isolation. While victims of bullying experience these harsh symptoms, school bullies also follow adverse trajectories. Bullies have a higher rate of partaking in community crime and tend to assert aggressive and even dominant behaviors in their romantic relationships and their familial relationships as well. Through the research used in this essay, it is evident that bullying has a direct impact in school environments that spreads towards the broader community. In 1998, researchers Rona Atlas and Deborah Pepler published their research article titled Observations of Bullying in the Classroom, in which the researchers observed 28 hours of footage and audio recordings of 8 different classrooms in search to find similar actions and aggressions of bullying. Through the analysis of these episodes and audio recordings, researchers ultimately found that bullying is pervasive in the classroom. Teachers are generally unaware of bullying, and that the peer group is reluctant to intervene to stop bullying when they see it. In 2012, researchers Paige Moore, Scott Hubner, and Kimberly Hills conducted research titled Electronic Bullying and Victimization and Life Satisfaction in Middle School Students. Their research ultimately sought to find a relationship among bullying and victimization and life satisfaction in the 5 different domains: family, friends, school, living environment, and self. Ultimately, these researchers found that students who are bullies or even are victims of bullying reported having lower level of life satisfaction than those that do not partake in bullying at all. In 2008, researchers Debler-Pepler, Deepeng Jang, Wendy Craig, and Jennifer Connolly wrote a research article called Developmental Trajectories of Bullying and Associated Factors. Essentially, this study concluded that students who bullied had an elevated risk in individual, parent, and peer relationship domains, thereby showcasing that people who are bullies tend to have a more criminal behavior as they grow older and follow adverse trajectories. According to Jamila Blake, Courtney Banks, Brenda Patience, and Emily Lund's 2014-2015 research titled School-Based Mental Health Professionals Bullying Assessment Practices, a call for evidence-based bullying assessment guidelines, these researchers found that relatively few counselors and psychologists receive training on how to conduct assessments of student bullying at the individual or school level. This essentially reflects a gap in how school professionals properly assess bullying and catalog it within their school environment. According to their 2005 research, researchers Tanya Baran and Bonnie Sharpio used quantitative analysis of survey responses and an analysis of students' open-ended responses to the anti-bullying program called Project Plowshares Puppets for Peace. Ultimately, the research found that although the program did not have a significant impact on student awareness of bullying and strategies, students did indicate that they experienced an increase in confidence to deal with bullying and their feelings of empathy for children who actually are bullied. Lastly, researcher Mary E. McCormack conducted her research in 2014. She studied a Southeast elementary school in the United States that was looking to implement a school-wide intervention because bullying incidents were negatively impacting school climate and being handled inconsistently by staff. Teachers and students all had very positive responses to the program, and students felt as though they had been listened to when reporting their bullying incidents. Ultimately, schools should seek to implement a variety of anti-bullying programs within the educational curriculum. Ensure that school mental health professionals, such as counselors and school psychologists or therapists, have an effective bullying assessment means to catalog bullying and incorporate community outreach and support to benefit in reducing the societal issue known as bullying. As opposed to attending anti-bullying assemblies and meetings, embedding an anti-bullying program within the curriculum will enable there to be more time focused on teaching students how to deal with and stand up to bullying, as these students are more frequently exposed to this anti-bullying curriculum within their classrooms and classroom-based settings. In addition to implementing an anti-bullying curriculum in schools, school mental health professionals should seek to have an effective bullying assessment. With an effective and efficient means of cataloging bullying incidents, school mental health professionals will have a means of charting and obtaining quantitative data of bullying incidents within their schools, so they'll be able to track if there's an increase in bullying or a decrease in bullying. In addition, this effective means of cataloging bullying will also aid in having students feel as though their complaints and outreach for help are actually heard. By having an efficient methods of reporting and cataloging bullying incidents, school counselors and school psychologists will essentially open up an easier communication and level of outreach for students who are either being bullied or witness bullying incidents themselves. If students feel as if they have a voice, they will inherently be more inclined to report incidents or ask for help rather than passively allow for bullying to happen in their school settings. Bullying is an issue that is not just constrained to a school environment. As bullying begins to extend outwards from a school environment to the greater community environment, the community should begin to show support for victims. Parents should take classes and attend anti-bullying meetings as a means to educate themselves on how to curb bullying and how to aid victims of bullying. With an increase in community involvement and education on bullying, victims will feel more support and safe within their community as a whole. This feeling of safety and support could provide victims and bystanders of bullying the confidence needed to report bullying and search for help as well, as they feel as if the entire community is behind them and will help them curb this issue. To conclude, bullying is a drastic communal and societal issue that leads to adverse effects for everyone involved: the victim, the bully, the bystander. Incorporating anti-bullying programs within a scholarly curriculum, ensuring school counselors and psychologists have an effective means of cataloging bullying reports, and having community involvement against bullying could ultimately curb the prominent issue of bullying that plagues communities today. Overall, many communities and school officials should strive to synthesize anti-bullying programs and classes within their curriculum. School mental health professionals should also attempt to have a more effective means of cataloging bullying incidents in their schools, while also ensuring that the greater community incorporates anti-bullying organizations and campaigns in order to show support towards bullying victims in an attempt to curb the communal issue. With an increase seen in bullying over the recent years, communities need to begin to look towards outlets and ways to alleviate the problem that bullying offers in an attempt to help curb this drastic issue